I'm not a morning person.
Dedicated to being passionate about it.
Bodybuilders have become more lazy.
People have always thought I lift fake weights.
Iran and the United States.
You take responsibility for that.
Hi, Vlad. How are you?
Good to see you. How you been?
Doing good. Good to see you too.
It's great to see you. I remember we only hung out one time. It was years ago. We were shooting at Gold's Gym. Do you remember? For the Generation Iron.
Oh my
film?
God, that's quite a bit ago.
Yeah.
How's things? How's everything going?
It's going very well. I appreciate you doing the interview today. I was looking forward to it.
My pleasure, man. I know Vlad, you're doing great now. I turned in Netflix and I see you everywhere. Great job. Great job.
Thank you so much, man. So what was Arnold like when you met him? What was I keep hearing different stories about him back then in the 70s. Some people say he was very cocky. He was always just like.
He wasn't cocky. He wasn't cocky with me. He wasn't, but he knew I was here to do business, and he knew that. And I took some advice from Arnold. No bullshit, Arnold, Samir, I think you should, Samir, you should do. He gave me some advice. I took advice from Bill Pearl. I took advice from Joe Gold. I took advice from Frank Zane. So I was around these people. Frank Zane was living only a few blocks from me. I'd go to Frank's house, and I bought even posing trunks at the time. Frank Zane gave me my posing trunk.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd go out with Frank and Christine, and so I was around these people that really did bodybuilding the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, you could see I'm still passionate. I would love to see things done properly. I love that.
So I want to ask you about 1980 Mr. Olympia.
Ooh.
From what I understand, that was the most controversial and infamous Mr. Olympia because of what happened with Arnold and him making a comeback suddenly. From your perspective, because you were there, right? You competed that year.
Yeah, I was there. And I was around Arnold when he was doing his prep at World Gym. I saw him daily, and I was really, wow, Arnold was really coming in strong. Mm-hmm. He was looking he looked better 1 month before the show. I saw him and I'm like, oh wow.
Wait, so he knew he was doing the show a month, because from what I read in the articles that he decided to do a show like the 2 days before. He
didn't announce it, but I knew that.
Okay.
He didn't tell everyone out there that he wanted to surprise people, but I knew that. Joe Gold knew that. And so I'm training.
He was training for the Conan movie, I believe, during that time. He was preparing for the Conan movie, right?
That was, I think, after Conan.
After Conan?
I don't recall. Let me see. 1980. I don't know what year was Conan, but no, Arnold really got back in shape really quick. Mm-hmm. I mean, but muscle memory. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him. I said, wow, there's no way he wants to look this good. There must be a reason too. So that was his reason. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, although he's my hero, I will never lie about what I saw. My eyes won't lie. I would never kiss to anyone. I will tell it like it is. Only God is perfect. So you know what? Can Arnold make a mistake? Can he not look perfect like he always have? Yeah, I mean, things happen. And not too many people know that. But Arnold actually having cortisone shot. He had a problem with his rotator cuff. And he had to take cortisone. So what happened, that cortisone really actually backfired a little bit in terms, if you don't have that onion skin quality, it's not the same. So, Arnold had a difficult time peaking like he normally does. And honestly, when I was backstage, 1980 Olympia, I was like, what? That's not the same guy that I really saw at World Gym. He wasn't the same. He was slightly off. That's Arnold, my hero, man. Would I tell you he should have won? Should he won? From my perspective, he shouldn't.
But even before the competition, from what I read, right, there was people were pissed off, right, that he showed up at the competition. Mike Mentzer, did Mike Mentzer started a fight with him at a press conference? Did that happen?
I witnessed everything. I heard everything. It's all recorded here in my hard drive. Mm-hmm. As you know, Arnold, he say things sometime, and he used a psychological factor against his competitor. So he did actually gave a couple of harsh statements to Mike when Mike got pissed off, and they got about to get in scuffle. I was there. Ken Waller was next to me, and Arnold made a comment. He said, Mike, what are you worried about? Look at how you let your belly hang on stage. And, he told Mike something to piss him off because there was a complaint why they want to do it 2 different classes. So anyhow, to make the story short, they're about to really have physical fight. And everybody jumped in the middle and stopped it. That is the truth. But who instigate the fight, really? I think Arnold did. Arnold did. And a lot of people would like, oh, you know what? Arnold wants to do whatever he wants to do. So he didn't like the idea that Arnold wants to make some changes, last-minute changes.
Is it true that he also attacked you, said something derogatory to you? Is that true or no, Arnold? Did he say something to you?
Said something derogatory to me?
Yeah. At the press conference? Never. No, at the press conference. I mean.
No, he was nice to me. He actually gave me 5, and he was like, okay. I have never had problem.
It was a misinformation because I read in the article he was attacking like a lot of people, including you, at the press conference.
No. He felt that I could do incredible job, and he felt that I was trying too hard. He actually told me, Samir, what are you doing? You should never be out of the money. Samir, you have the body to win every show. He told me this. I'm not telling you any bit of bullshit here. Never.
No, of course. So yeah. Okay, so we've fast forward to the competition, right? The competition happens. From what I read, also he was making a lot of comments on stage. He was like trying to throw people off when he was posing. Is that true? Have you heard something?
Arnold always jokes around, whether he was at Canaba Universe or at the Olympia. That's his personality. Whether he's doing it to psychologically piss someone else,
right,
or he did it as being Arnold, the funny guy. You could, but being around Arnold, I know he's funny. He could get away with anything, but it doesn't look like he's doing it to irritate you. Some people may get irritated. I'm sure Mike Mentzer, rest in peace, was irritated, and he told him, I said, Mike, you come into the show, you were pregnant, you let your stomach hang, and Mike Mentzer got pissed off. When you have a low body fat and you're being there, you get pissed off. I have been pissed off several times, but you get on edge when you with low body fat.
So I read that when Arnold won, they gave him the title, right? People got really pissed off. I heard that Frank Zane threw his trophy down. Chris Dickerson stormed off the stage.
I know
What was the atmosphere like at that time when Arnold won?
Well, yeah, of course, so many people got pissed off, and I honestly believe they have the right to get mad. I think something was done. Do I know exactly what happened? Why did Arnold win? Sometimes you have to remember, Arnold had a lot of fans. And he's Arnold. Everybody look up to Arnold. And so I hear that, some of the judges loved Arnold, love him as Arnold. They didn't really care about his condition that day. They voted for him as Arnold, and that's not right. Me personally, if my brother was on stage, doesn't deserve the win, I would not let him win. But some of the judges acted. It wasn't really right what was done. Arnold, in my opinion, should not have been Mr. Olympia in 1980.
Interesting. And I also heard that from the article that people were booing also, and that CBS canceled the airing of the show.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And knowing me as the kid back then, Samir, who's backstage, I knew I wasn't prepared in Australia. I overdid it. I tried too hard. But honestly, I was rooting for Arnold. I was rooting for Arnold. I would want Arnold. He's my hero. I want him to win. But he didn't deserve to win. That's the truth. Yeah,
but it's really cool that you were there because I read so much about this Olympia from different sources, but you were there. That's that's cool. Like you can tell me exactly what happened.
I'm telling you the truth, nothing but the truth, buddy. I have no reason. I mean, like I said, I would want to see Arnold win because my hero. Mike Mentzer is my friend too. Mike looked good. He was in good shape. Frank Zane looked pretty good. Dickerson looked good. I mean, the top five were really good.
Mhm.
Boyer.
Can you tell me about Mike Mentzer? Because that's one of the guys that I know he passed away already, obviously, and he's one of those bodybuilders that I feel like a lot of people don't have enough knowledge about. You know what I mean? The new generation, especially. Talk about Mike and what he meant for bodybuilding.
Mike is a very intelligent man. It's very, very passionate. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that toward the end of his career, and I think that Australia Australia experience at the Mr. Olympia 1980, it stayed in him and bothered him for so long. And I was around him. In fact, Mike was around me and I remained friendly. He saw me winning the 83 Olympia. He was there and I won professional, so he was there. He was very supportive. But I know that stayed with him and bothered him for the longest time.
Mm.
He could have recovered from it. He should have like, forget it, it's done, block it and move forward. That's the only thing really. I feel bad that Mike didn't recover from that experience in Sydney, Australia.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very sad. But Mike is a guy who wants to win badly. I was around him and I saw how intense he was. He wanted to win so bad. I would go on a bike ride with him, and his mentality is like he will do whatever it takes. I mean, I was with Mike doing a bike ride. I see him like I'm like trying, and he's like, "Gone! What the hell?" I was like going crazy. Mike told me a statement that was crazy. He said, "You know what, Samir? He didn't mean it as a as a bad guy." Or he said, "Samir, I would love to see that big jumbo jet explode over my head." We were bike riding near LAX, kind of on the bike route, and you see all these jumbo jets fly over our head. He said, "Dude, I want that." Mike was really focused, and he looked good. He really looked good, but he should have not take it out on himself, because he and Zane and Boyer and everybody else got robbed, obviously. But you know, it is what it is. But now some people pointing finger don't. This is not a concrete statement I'm going to make. People telling me that Paul Graham, who orchestrated something, he was the promoter of the show. And Paul Graham was a friend of Arnold. I mean, I'm sure Arnold didn't fix it for himself, but I think Paul Graham did something to help Arnold. Arnold is a champion. Nobody could say that Arnold couldn't win. If Arnold showed up 1 month prior to the Mr. Olympia, the way I saw him at World Gym, honestly, he would have won. He won, but it would have been much easier for him. He would probably win deservingly.
Interesting.
He would have won it deservingly.
How much camaraderie was between bodybuilders back then? Because obviously you just described a pretty intense situation where there's a lot of internal fighting. But I keep hearing the golden age, everybody was friends, best friends.
It was. Look, I think back then people were like more happier, and yeah, we had camaraderie. I recall going to the beach in Santa Monica, right behind World Gym, and it's like Mr. Olympia on the beach. I mean, you have no nonsense. I swear, I'll tell you the truth. I can name for you about 15 bodybuilders being on the beach together at the same time. I wish I had this with me back then to film it. We never go to the beach with camera and iPhone, but you have guys on the beach at one time. Like, you have Chris Dickerson, Tom Plath, Andreas Collin, Pete Grumkowski, Roger Callard, myself, and it's like Mr. Olympia on the beach. You have like about Serge Lebre used to go and hang out, so you could see guys walking. Like what? It's crazy. The beaches, you never see like a Mr. Olympia contest. People like hanging out together. it was like, yes, camaraderie was good back then, and I don't really see it these days.